May 16th, 2012 marks what would have been the 100th birthday of Louis Studs Terkel, one of the great citizens of Chicago and Illinois. And whereas Studs Terkel was known throughout the world as a great author of American life.
Buy one of Studs' books and give it to someone young.
An extraordinary historian, actor, and broadcaster whose chronicles of history came from the voice of people he interviewed, and a man who lived a life of civic engagement and activism. Therefore, I, Pat Quinn, Governor of the State of Illinois, do hereby proclaim May 16, 2012, on the centennial anniversary of Studs Terkel's birthday, as Studs Terkel Day.
20 years ago, the Chicago City Council resolved to name this old rust bucket of a bridge for Louis Studs Terkel. Millions of people have crossed this bridge over more than 100 years. Horse-drawn wagons and hacks, automobiles and trucks, boats and barges underneath, and all those feet. One wonders how many times Nelson Aldrin must have crossed this bridge on his way home to Wicker Park. It's not a grand span. It's not the Golden Gate, it's not the George Washington or even the Cup Bridge. It's an everyman sort of bridge, a Division Street bridge. And it's just the right kind of bridge for Studs Terkel's name.
The irony here that I think Studs would appreciate is that we're asked to use words to describe a guy who could use them so much better than us. But in the end, we're an amalgam of everything we've experienced. People we've known, the history we've lived through together, and everything we've read.
I never met Studs Terkel. I've read his books. My favorite one is Working. And the reason it's one of my favorites is I read through it and I think about what my parents went through, the stories that they told me, my grandparents. And as an alderman, it's those stories that kind of keep me going when people come to me and they say, we need an ordinance that's going to help out people in mental health clinics, or we need an ordinance that's going to help out people with libraries. So it's his words that I read, and it's the words that I hear from my parents that really keep me going every day.
And whereas Studs Terkel was born in New York City, but moved to Chicago in 1923 at the age of 8, and later with his wife Ida Goldberg and son Dan, made Chicago, Illinois his home. And whereas Studs Terkel was best remembered as a prolific author and for his oral histories of common Americans, including the books Giants of Jazz, Division Street, Hard Times, Working, American Dreams, The Good War, The Great Divide, Race, Coming of Age, My American Century, Will the Circle Be Unbroken, Hope Dies Last, The Spectator, Touch and Go, Talking to Myself, P.S. Further Thoughts from a Lifetime of Listening, They All Sang, and Studs Terkel Chicago.
Hey, Studs! Here's Andrea Rayla. She founded the Studs Terkel Centennial Bridge competition to give young people interested in engineering and architecture the challenge of imagining a new Studs Terkel Bridge.
You know, Studs would have been 100 years old this month. This bridge is 108 years old. We're excited, the students are excited about coming up with ideas to redesign this bridge and offer it to the city officials. Now we know the city is low on resources, everybody's hurting with the budget constraints, but there are no resource limits to the students' ideas and vision for this new bridge. Thank you so much.
We call upon all citizens to celebrate civic activism and promote the arts and culture in the land of Lincoln in the memory of Studs Terkel.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. God's drinking waters. This land was made for you and me. Nobody living can ever stop me as I go walking my freedom highway. Nobody living can make me turn back, 'cause this land was made for you and me. Come on for Studs. This land is your land. This land is mine.